Yeah, like I said earlier, we're gonna go rescue a 78 Vette today. We're gonna move it from his house, or from his shop down here to his house out 10-12 miles out. Some of our tools loaded up. I'm pretty good friends with Danny, his son. Camera bag, tool bag, which we'll probably end up running back and forth a million times. Anyway, talked to Danny this morning briefly, and he said there was no problem with me videotaping the event today. Not sure how this is going to go. We'll see. I do got to make sure that I got my electric fuel pump with me, that kind of stuff. Arrows, phones, air compressors, but I call them a pancake compressor. This one just has that name on it. But anyway, they're pretty efficient at airing up tires and stuff like that. See, maybe 35-40 years since I drove this car. It's an automatic car. I think probably 350 engine, 350 turbo transmission. I don't know, it might even have a 400 behind that V8. Not sure about that. A lot of them were 350. That we'll see. You know, I mean, if I get a chance to look under it, we'll take a peek, and you can tell by the pan shape. 350 turbos are square with one corner cut off. Literally just square with one corner cut off. That's a 350 turbo. You got to remember now, those kind of ended, I'm guessing early 80s, something like that. And they started coming out with all this other stuff. 700 R4 I think was first. But then the 400 turbo, I guess it kind of looks almost like the state of Illinois, you might say. You know, it's kind of a tapered thing, you know. Anyway, you can spot them once you worked on them enough. Anyway, enough yakking, let's go to work. Well, I just got a text from Danny, Doc's son. They're on their way to town. They're going to stop to pick up some gas, more gas. I've got a little bit with me. Yeah, it looks like they're there. Pull into the shop. old railroad building. Well, there's the Corvette. I can see it through the window. They got it out towards the door. Hi. There's my buddy.
What are you doing?
Prentice. He's stopping to investigate.
Was the chief, if I'd known he was taking pictures, I would have said, hey, get out, boy.
Well, it's still in pretty good shape inside, ain't it?
Yeah.
Upholstery and everything's clean.
There's a little challenge on the back side of this seat over here, but
Oh, well, holy cow, 78. What's that?
huh?
22, 44-year-old car.
That old, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, nice to see you up.
Yeah, I overdid it yesterday. That Dad put the engine in this, Doc?
What year?
Yeah, do you remember? I don't remember. Was it in the 80s or sometime in the 80s or 90s?
90s, because it was after I was gone.
85,000?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got an original equipment electric antenna here.
Yeah,
that's
little
that's yeah, that's
duct tape.
that's factory. I know it is. Okay.
I drove a shit out of that.
84,000.
Last time I drove it, I was drunk.
Were ya?
Got picked up up the road, out when you get out over across the railroad track up to the not this one, the other, next one.
Oh.
Yeah, Spindler.
Oh, Clint. Yeah. Yeah, he probably really was laying for you too.
So I got up that thing, drunk driving charge, and I have no way to get home and stuff. And so he okayed my driver's license. Oh, Spindler was it. I got home and he's over here and he had an alarm going.
Oh yeah, he was Wyatt Earp. Yeah.
And I says, well, don't fuck with me because I got my driver's license back. And he says,
We used to call him Barney.
Barney.
"When the hell did you get it back?" I said, I went over and seen the Montana, whatever the hell he was.
It's probably the judge, wasn't it?
And they call them a JP, Justice of the Peace, or something like that. In them
So
days.
I called him up again and I said, hey, this asshole will not leave me alone. And so I said, he said, well, just hang up the phone and I'll call him up.
Oh.
Oh, he told me.
Yeah, you guys can't see that on that stick. We got clean oil in there, so we don't even have to mess with that. Boy, this is all. I'm glad this thing wasn't sitting outside, because that really raises hell with them. You ready?
It's not going to blow up, is it?
No.
I got another can.
I'm just gonna give it a little drinky poo
I got another
here.
can of spray, too, if you want.
Okay. Let me give it a little drinky poo here. Okay. Needle and seat was stuck. I think we got her. I think it was a combination of a couple of things, you know. Yep, you guessed it. We were over here the next day to drive Mr. Corvette home. Brakes. I told him I don't need brakes. I'm wanting to go. Yep, she's empty. One. That's the back. Front's the back, back's the front. Well, same old thing. Trying to get some brakes. I told him I'm not trying to stop. We're trying to go, but I guess eventually they want you to stop. Yeah, go figure, right? Temp gauge works, clock does not, oil pressure works, fantastic oil pressure. My dad put an engine in this, I don't know what year. The charging system seems to be working. Tack, factory tack. I looked at the tranny and it was a 350 auto. This has 84,082 original miles. The old doc here ordered this thing brand new. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't see a whole lot of smoke or anything. We're getting ready to run it out. We had to bleed all the brakes, and we actually got sort of kind of some brakes. Go. We're gonna give it a whirl and see what happens, guys. We sort of have brakes. See, turn signal acts like it's working. Okay. Yeah, she'll still light them up. The brakes sort of, kind of, I think a guy should yank all the calipers. It's got the original calipers on it from the factory. Have some flat spots in the tires. I hope it comes out here pretty quick because 45 is just about killer. Everything, boy, really great oil pressure. She needs some front end aligning and stuff like that. 55, she's starting to smooth out a little bit. So it'll turn to 70 out here. I might run it up there. Boy, I don't know, those tires still got that flat spot. Boy, they're pretty rough, so I don't know how fast I want to drive the thing. Temptation, of course, is to just haul ass, but we must fight temptation, right? Tires, boys. They might smooth out. That's 60. The tranny seems to be fine. Works. Kicks down. Yeah, she still hauls ass. You can run it up to 75, 80 just right now. pretty violent. You almost gotta drive it two-handed. She'll make a good driver, daily driver for somebody though. This is a car a guy can get in and just drive it. Well, I ran her up to 80 a couple of times. You see that steering wheel though. The guy don't want to be screwing around too much. This would be a really great car if somebody wanted to go through it, throw 2,000 or 3,000 at it, polish it up a little bit, and drive it. Yeah, we made it out here. We're about a half a mile from the house. Alright, guys. Well, here she is, boys. We made her. Parked safe and sound. It's the L82 version, and it's got fiberglass tops instead of the glass tops. I'm gonna put the cover on it. Okay, everyone, it's the next day after we moved the Vette. Friday, yay! Doesn't make much difference to me. I work almost every day. We had sheetrock to put up today, but anyway. Back to the Corvette deal. I guess we ought to turn on some lights so everybody could see what the heck's going on right there. Walking around in the dark. Let's talk about that project a little bit. Not much. We're just going to run through it real quick. That was a 78 Vette, as I said before. It's the 25th anniversary model, which doesn't make it real super special. 350 engine, 350 turbo tranny. It did have limited slip rear end. I don't know if all the Vettes had that. Some Corvette guru, maybe they'll comment down below and tell us, yeah, they did, every one of them, or no, they started that in such and such a year. I don't know. There's guys that can tell you that stuff. Anyway, that one did happen to have a limited slip or posi or whatever, and I confirmed that by when we were, I don't know if I did any video, but we ended up bleeding all the brakes. And fortunately, that car was never ran up here in the north during the winter time and got any of that calcium, whatever, the stuff, the garbage they put on the road to de-ice the road. It didn't get on it and seize everything up and rust everything up. It was a really clean car underneath. It would be a fantastic candidate to be a driver, what we call a driver. The paint's not that great on it, but I think a person could buff it out and bring it out, kind of make it look nice again. You know, the interior, it had some issues, but it was pretty decent. I mean, it was a driver. You could go through all the brakes. It had original brake calipers on it. I personally feel like, you know, when I stomped on the brakes to turn in out there, boy, it really hung to the left. I mean, it really pulled. The tires, if you're going to drive that car hard, you know, you should put some tires on it. That's where I would start, at the wheel ends. I would repack all the bearings. However you got to do that on all those Vettes. I would make sure all the bearings are good. Personally, I would put on all new calipers around and really look at those rotors hard. You know, they've been on there a while. Tires. Those tires just didn't want to smooth out yesterday. We drove it 10 miles. It was a fairly warm day, mid-50s, maybe 60. They should have smoothed out if they were going to. Radial tires sat on a concrete floor for 16 years, I think. He said he drove it 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember that car ever coming out of that garage. You know, possibly, but he would have had to have somebody help him lift that door up. That was one of them old wooden shop doors, and it was friggin' heavy. 3 of us, it was all we could do to get that stupid thing up. I've worked in some of those shops when I was a teenager that had those big wooden doors. Probably where you get back troubles and shoulder troubles. I know my old man, he got that from big old nasty doors. It ain't about the doors. Fix the brakes, go through the wheel bearings, check them, check your U-joints, check your steering components, put some good rubber on that car. I think that before it got parked, it got serviced. I think that, see that car, Doc had purchased that car, ordered it brand new. It wasn't special order or anything on it, but he ordered the car, you know. I mean, we're a small town. Dealerships in those days here didn't stock cars like that on the lot. They were expensive even then. I mean, relatively speaking. So he ordered the car, and so he's always owned it brand new. It's a one-owner Vette. Far as I know, it was always kept in a garage someplace or under cover, you know. So it's not all rotted out. It's not all beat to hell. It's a pretty nice old car. Somebody could take that car and throw $3-4 grand at it, you know, $4 grand tops, you know, probably, and have a really great driver. Something that, a car that if it got a little scratch or something like that, you're not going to freak out because you got, you know, 15 grand into a paint job, you know. I personally don't know if I even want a vehicle like that where it's got this huge dollar paint job on it where you're just afraid to even walk around it in the garage. I mean, for fear that, you know, you might have a key hanging out of your pocket and it touches it, you know. I mean, there's upsides and downsides to stuff like that. I'm going to let all the guys that's got millions of dollars own cars like that where they got temperature controlled shops. This would be a great daily driver kind of car to go to work in if you had that kind of job. Other than that, you know, I've known Doc since I was 10 years old, and I'm over 60 now. So long time old friend of the family. He was our eye doctor for years and years. Even though I went and worked construction all over the country, I always tried to get back here to have Doc help me out. But anyway, he's not doing as well as we had hoped. But, you know, on an upside to that, it was just recently here a few months ago, he was, he's almost 90, okay? He was over in one of the bigger cities over in Washington across the border with his girlfriend in the car. They were going through the intersection and somebody ran a stoplight and T-boned him in his door. That was really messed him up. But be that as it may, I hope that I'm that spunky when I'm almost 90 years old to be running around in the big city with my girlfriend. Well, don't let my wife hear that, but you know, or with my young wife, and you know what I'm saying. You know, to be that spunky where, you know, that is something like that, of course. But you know, I mean, great guy. He was always fun to go. I'd run into him sometimes. We'd be out in the clubs. This was years and years ago when we all drank, but and we'd be dancing and stuff like that. He was in another age group, a little older age group than I am, by quite a bit. But you know, because he was some of my schoolmates' dad, you know. So anyway, but we'd see each other and we always BS'd and had a great time. But anyway, that's the Vette. We got her home. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for tuning in and watching. This is going to be out of sequence from all our others that I'm going to post as we go along, because a lot of that, the building work stuff and everything was done before prior, but I'm going to post this one first, and because I think it's kind of interesting what we did there. and we'll get some of the 58 stuff on there. The alternator on the 58 turned out good, by the way. We got the darn thing. It took another wire. I might have put that on another video, I'm not sure. I'll review everything, but it took another wire to get the thing excited or whatever. I wish it only took one wire to get me excited anymore, but anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.